So the last time we left off, we were talking about Lonnie Zamora, a former New Mexico police officer who witnessed a close encounter with a UFO and its occupants in Socorro, New Mexico. This video is about the top secret Janet Airlines, a U.S. government contracted company that flies out of Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, Nevada. Call sign Station 9. Now, Janet Airlines isn't the shadowy carrier's official name. That name became widely accepted once aviation enthusiasts discovered that the curious aircraft, based out of a small private terminal codenamed Gold Coast on the west side of Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, used the call sign Janet while operating in civilian airspace. Janet Airlines is an airline carrier that connects U.S. Defense Department employees and contractors with top secret military bases like Area 51, code name Flight Code Station 3, and other military research centers. Janet stands for Joint Air Network for Employee Transportation, or does it just stand for another non-existent terminal? Either one can be correct. Now, Janet flights fly out of Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, Nevada, from the secure terminal I mentioned, protected by EG&G security, with a parking lot dedicated actually to this highly classified airline. Its operations can be tracked, but this tracking is frowned upon due to top secret and the sensitive nature of the airline's passengers and crew. Now, this top secret base, Area 51 near Rachel, Nevada, does not support a normal commute to work by private car, only by this secret airline to maintain national security. Now, there are U.S. Air Force buses that transport employees to Area 51 via the front gate of this facility, but the preferred means of transportation is by this airline. Janet Airlines also flies to Tonopah Test Range to support various stealth aircraft programs like the F-117A Nighthawk Stealth, now used for long dogfighting practice, etc., after decades of service as a strike fighter. The Tonopah Test Range is also the home base of the RQ-171A, the Sentinel Stealth Reconnaissance Drone, among other stealth projects. Now, this video is about Janet Airlines 737s, which have also been tracked supporting other U.S. military range and research facilities, such as the Naval Weapons Station China Lake, the U.S. Air Force Production Flight Test Installation Plant 42, and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The mission of Janet Airlines, in my humble opinion, based upon available evidence, is to be a shuttle for military aviation technicians and civilian contractors using these airplanes that provide the maximum possible operational security. The Janet Airlines fleet as of 2015 consists of 6 Boeing 737-66Ns and 5 twin-engine Beechcraft turboprops. When the 737s would draw too much attention or require too much runway, they used the Beechcraft. Now, what is interesting is that these planes used to fly for Air China, but since 2008 they now fly for Janet Airlines. Now, I'm sure these planes were thoroughly debugged and checked for listening devices before being used for such sensitive air travel. Janet Airlines aircraft are never ever used in any way for any form of training. The first flights from Las Vegas to Area 51 were performed in 1972 by a Douglas DC-6 operated by EG&G. A second DC-6 was added in 1976. And this aircraft type remained in use until 1981. The Boeing 737-200s were gradually added to the Janet fleet in that same decade and were later supplemented by the Air Force T-43s, demodified to conventional transport configurations. You can understand they would configure them right for transportation, for civilians, etc. According to Chinese aviation public records, Janet Airlines 6 737s, the average age is 21.5 years. The oldest is registration number N319BD, and that's 22.4 years old, while the youngest plane N288DP is 20.7 years old. And it also lists a B737-700 in the fleet. Janet Airlines is listed as the ACMI customer of all these aircraft, while a company called Amentum that ACOM Federal Services merged into is listed as the operator. As of November 2023, the United States Air Force is still processing information over the replacement of the operator of the Janet service. Okay, the Air Force said that the possible aircraft replacements for these Janet Airlines must be FAR Part 121 certified and be a member of the Civil Reserve Air Fleet, or the CRAF. Aircraft that are meeting this requirement include legacy carriers such as United Airlines, American Airlines, and Delta Airlines. Now, to get a job flying with this classified airline, any potential job applicants will need to gain and maintain a top secret security clearance. And this includes the flight crew, such as any flight attendants if they are required on the short hop from Harry Reid International Airport to Area 51, etc. So if you want to be a pilot and you want to fly into Area 51, you gotta have a top secret clearance. As of 2015, as I mentioned, the Janet fleet consists of 6 Boeing 737-600s painted white with a prominent red cheat line. Okay, the fleet is registered to the Department of the Air Force, and while some earlier aircraft were registered to several civil aircraft leasing corporations, so in the past some were registered as civilian leasing corporations. One of the 737-200s with registration number N5177C in the 1980s was briefly based in Germany at Frankfurt International Airport, which was at the time also home to the United States Air Force Base Rhein-Main Air Base, and operated by Keyway Air Transport. It's not confirmed, but probably this was a front company for a U.S. government operation. This plane was retired on the 6th of March 2009 and shipped to AMARG, which is the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, okay, often called the Boneyard, which is in Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona. They put it there for storage. So you can watch the Janet Airlines depart from Harry Reid International Airport, which is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just look for the white planes with the red lines, okay, the red lineage on the tails. And the best viewing areas are from the top rooms of the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas on the Las Vegas Strip, or from the Pyramids Hotel, which is close by also on the Las Vegas Strip. And you can even hear the Janet Airlines air traffic control radio broadcast. You can fly one even in a Microsoft Flight Simulator X. If you want to fly one of these planes, you can do it in a simulator. The people who fly on these Janet flights, they can't tell you or even tell their families what they do for work. It's an airline that flies to nowhere. Well, I wouldn't say it flies to nowhere. It flies somewhere, right? On takeoff from Las Vegas, Janet flights communicate with Harry Reid International Airport, the air traffic controllers, the departure control, and they use the call sign like Janet 210 or Janet 301. And once the planes are airborne, the Janet aircraft proceed northwest, and Harry Reid Airport departure then hands them off to Nellis Control. Okay, Nellis Control then supervises the busy airspace across the southern part of Nevada. One of the places these Janet 737s go to is located inside the airspace described as R4808N, which we're going to assume is Area 51, right? When Janet flights cross from the civilian airspace into the restricted military airspace, the planes seem to disappear. Perhaps the planes, they turn off their transponders. And I don't know. The Nellis controller never ever specifies to the Janet pilot which frequency for the Janet pilot to switch to. So they switch frequencies from civilian to the military base. That's because the Janet pilot, with his or her top secret compartmented security clearance, already knows the frequency on which to switch to when entering for a possible and prepared landing into Area 51. In addition to the frequency change, its call sign has changed also. It's no longer called Janet 210 or Janet 301. It's now something totally different. Perhaps the new call sign is Racer 25 or Bones 55. The plane is now flying inside the most restricted airspace on Earth, heading directly towards the most secretive military base in the world, Area 51. So now let's listen to some of the Janet Airline pilots' communications with Area 51, Nellis Air Force Base.
1-2, one fast mover, the 15 to your north, just come over to your freaks, I'm not sure what runway. North end wind is calm, 32 is 220 at 5.
This is going to control, go ahead.
Hey, we're actually about 20 minutes ahead of when we're supposed to be there, and we're parking on the north end. Would you please do me a favor, call our maintenance guys and let them know that we're probably about 5 minutes out from parking?
That parking north ramp.
Another reason for that engine shutdown?
I was never given the direct reason. This came from a different source than me, but it was directed by the SOF.
That's what I'll put on the paperwork.
To Ramrod on VHF, how do you read?
Tower control, Goblin 81 is canceled. Tower control, inbound. Tower, discrete 7P, how do you hear? Victor. Slow mover, Goblin 31, inbound doing a practice ILS. He's about 10 southeast right now.
Initially, I wanted to pass on, we just got some information on an unauthorized UAV that's operating in 08 Charlie. The NTS last reported him observed over the lake bed and about 6,000. Just use caution. Range entry is approved. The altimeter 3012, you can proceed direct. The only thing I have for you is just north of the DAF. There's a UAV operating at 9,000 and below. Traffic I have for you, I'll give you an update on him, but he's north of the DAF, about 3 miles north of the DAF at 8,500.
Zero, go.
I'd like to report there's some spots on the runway, but it's as you're exiting, as we're turning off onto Foxtrot, off to the, probably 15 feet off to the left. It looks like a piece of flat, thin piece of concrete sitting on top of the concrete.
We're 8 out of 6,000, 1 5,000 Stymie stage, and we're about a mile south of home plate. Tower control, inbound. Approaching Demon is Goblin 82 for the TACAN X-ray 14.
Thanks for watching the J-Rod Files, and we will see you at the next video.